Looking for Thursday night football, game breakdowns, best bets, and expert injury analysis? Well, my friends, you are in the right place. Welcome, football fans, to another edition of IDP Plus Bets. That is right, folks. I'm your host, the D-Gen Doc, and today we've got a very special game going on. Look, we've been having a nice string of division rivalries. We've had these games been interesting, and I'm not going to lie, this might be our first stinker of the season there. We have the Denver Broncos the Denver Broncos heading to New Orleans to take on those New Orleans Saints. We have the return of Sean Payton. Look, let's be honest. We've got two rookie quarterbacks head to head. We got two teams that are a bit beat up. We have two teams that are maybe not that great. So definitely has all the makings to potentially be our first Thursday night football stinker. We had a nice string of them last season, but who knows? Sometimes it is the games you don't think, and hey, look, there's still football being played. There's still money to be won. So that's what we're going to be talking about here, folks. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with the injury analysis. Going to be breaking down what do these teams look like? What are we going to see on the field today? And then we're going to talk about game breakdown, game flow, how we see the game going. And then, of course, we're going to end with my best bets there. So we are going to go ahead and kick this off here. And let's start with those Denver Broncos, the team that is a little bit less beat up there. They've got one major injury, of course. Pat Surtain, arguably the best. I mean, I don't even know if it's arguably at this point. Let's just say the best cornerback in the National Football League in Pat Surtain. He's out this week with a concussion. Look, concussion protocol is getting stricter this season. We're seeing it. And especially with a Thursday night game, there's no way a guy's going to clear in 4 days. That's just not going to happen. So we kind of knew this coming in that he was going to be out this game. Also, right tackle Alex Palczewski, definitely butchered that name. He is going to be out as well. So we've got the key piece in defense, and then we have that right tackle there. Now, Denver Broncos got a little bit lucky with their injury situation because they designated three guys from IR to return. All three of these guys returned to practice this week, and all three of these guys are expected to see the field tonight. They have right tackle Mike McGlinchey, who's going to slide right in to the hole that Palczewski just left. You have outside linebacker Baron Browning, who is a stud pass rusher. He is a guy who was very productive last season. That's already a pretty formidable pass rush, so it's good to get him back in some reps. And then cornerback Damari Mathis. Look, Damari Mathis is not going to slot in for Pat Surtain. It's going to have to be a by-committee deal. But the good news for them is they're going up against a rookie quarterback in Spencer Rattler. As we go to the Saints side of the ball, Derek Carr out with an oblique injury. Obviously, definitely out tonight. Chance for next week, the multiple week deal. The big thing here, oblique, muscle to your side, your kind of abdominals on your side there. They're part of the abdominals, and really they're a rotational piece. So, what does a quarterback have to do? They have to rotate their body to throw the ball, right? I know that was a terrible throwing mechanism there. But that is why that's going to be painful. I mean, it's painful just to laugh, to cough, just to move around. So to play the game of football, definitely not tonight. We'll see about next week. Obviously, this will be his second game that he's missing in Carr. Chris Olave out also with a concussion. Both him and Surtain, again, when they picked it up, I was immediately like, look, both these guys, you can pretty much rule them out right away. They're not going to clear the protocol in just 4 days. I mean, we're barely seeing guys clear it in a week. So 4 days would be absolutely insane. One of the big kind of surprising ones, wide receiver Rashid Shaheed, out for the season with a meniscus repair. So picked up a knee injury late in the game last week, went to go kind of get it checked out because they weren't exactly sure what was going on. It was found out that he had a meniscus tear. Now with the meniscus tear, there's really three routes of recovery. You can do conservative recovery, which is physical therapy. Maybe, the tear is not that big. You try to just strengthen the muscles around it. About a 4 to 6 week window there. You could do a meniscus debridement or a meniscectomy where they essentially go into the meniscus and just take out, they simply remove the pain-causing little bit that's messed up there. That's about a 4 to 6 week recovery. And then really the best one for long-term knee health is a meniscus repair, but they actually go in and repair the meniscus. Again, best for long-term knee health. However, a 4 to 6 month recovery there. So that's why I put him out for the season there. So whenever you see a meniscus, just know it could either be like a month or it could be the whole season. And it really just depends on size of the tear, where it's located, what the vascularity, what the blood flow is in the meniscus there. So that's kind of one of those things that may not be able to be determined until they really get opened up. So unfortunately, right? Fortunately for his health, unfortunately for the season, Rashid Shaheed is out for the season. Taysom Hill, doubtful tonight with a rib injury. Looks like he's not expected to play. Guard Cesar Ruiz is going to be out tonight. They're already missing center Eric McCoy, who's on IR. And then starting linebacker Pete Warner and starting safety Will Harris are also out. I mean, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 all starters on offense and 2 on defense that are going to be out tonight. I mean, that's a lot to replace, right? They also have kind of backup center, the guys filling in for Eric McCoy. Lucas Patrick is also questionable tonight. We'll see if he's able to go. So definitely, I mean, right off the bat, Broncos are definitely ahead on the injury front, right? So that makes this game going to be very interesting, especially when it comes to the prop market here. All right, for how I see this game going now, we got Denver laying 2.5 on the road at -115. It's kind of bumping between 2.5 and 3. And then you got New Orleans as home dogs there, catching let's look what it is right now because it's been bouncing around what they are on the money line. Right now, New Orleans, I'm seeing plus 120. So obviously it's probably bounced between 120, 125, 130. Over under sitting at 37 right now. Look, as far as how I think this game's going to go, I do think the Denver Broncos are going to win this game. But I think this is going to be an ugly game. There's so much uncertainty in this game. I mean, the Saints sitting at 2-4. They're a pretty desperate team at home. And the Denver Broncos at 3-3. They're okay. I don't think that they're locked to take care of business. But I was telling people last week, it really, as soon as I knew Derek Carr was going to be with the injury, I knew he was going to be out multiple weeks. I was like, get on Tampa and get on Denver. So I have a Denver +1, right? Now that it's kind of getting to Denver -3, and I feel a little bit less good about it, right? It's not something I really feel strong on. I'm personally not going to bet it at -2.5 with the juice or -3. Obviously, again, I do think Denver wins. I already have the +1 play there. So not something I'm totally in love with the side or the total. It seems too easy that, solid defenses, poor offenses, it should go under Thursday night. But again, no, really where I'm targeting is some of these player props. I really am going to be heavy on Javonte Williams this week. I mean, if it's not this week, then I don't know when it's going to be for him. We've already talked about the injuries on the Saints side of the ball, both to the offense and to the defense. I think game script wise, I think the Denver Broncos are going to try to slow down the game. They're going to try to control the ball. They're going to try to control the clock, play behind their defense, and run the ball. Right? I really do think that they could have some success there. The Saints giving up over 100 yards on the ground. They're giving up close to 5 yards of carry. I do think Javonte Williams. So I'm going to go Javonte Williams anytime touchdown at +150. I think he gets in the end zone. And I'm giving the 75+ rush and receiving at +115. So the angle here on why I like through the air and the ground, just last week, Bucky Irving, Sean Tucker really lit them up both on the ground and through the air. I mean, Sean Tucker took a screen pass at 40 yards for a touchdown. I really do think that defense is a bit susceptible to the running back position. With Bo Nix, I don't think they need to have him throw it all over the yard. I don't think that's the best path to success for this Denver Broncos team. I think Javonte Williams gets something like 18 to 22 carries. I think they really pound the rock. I think he takes, a little bit of the screen there. He may not be the most efficient guy, but really it's a volume play for me tonight. I think it's a big Javonte Williams game from a volume perspective. Then on the Saints side of the ball, I'm going to go with Juwan Johnson over 35.5 receiving yards at +140 there. Spencer Rattler's only played one game. He's played one game last week, and he really liked to get the tight ends involved. Both Juwan Johnson, who went for almost 50 yards, he went for 48 yards, and Foster Moreau is going to be my sprinkle for this game. Let's see what the number I got him at here. Foster Moreau right now over on DK, 40+ receiving yards at +750. You can take him 25+ at +275. You've got questions at wide receiver. No Olave, no Shaheed. Really, we're talking about Bub Means. We're talking about Tipton, and we're talking about Cedric Wilson. Not guys I really want to be backing right now. I understand Pat Surtain's not there, but the Denver Broncos defense also lost Alex Singleton, their star linebacker, middle linebacker for the season. So I think the middle of the field is where the Saints are going to try to attack. I think they're going to give some easy throws to the tight end. Juwan Johnson is a guy that, that could be 2 catches for him to get over 35 yards. And Foster Monroe, I mean, he had a 40-yard grab last week. He's somebody that's just on the field, especially with no Taysom Hill. I think they're going to run a lot of 2 tight end sets. So I do like, I like both tight ends, but I like to have that Foster Monroe kind of as a blanket in case, it turns out Monroe was the guy. Because Foster Monroe was the leading receiver last week for Spencer Rattler. So I think it's a bit foolish to not have some money on him as well. All right, now we're going to the defensive side. Of course, I'm going to give you some defensive props. It's IDP plus. Of course, we're doing that. So Jonathan Cooper over a quarter of a sack, minus 105 there. Spencer Rattler in his first game took 5 sacks. I mean, like I said, I think game script wise, I do think the Broncos are going to have a lead. I do think the Saints are going to be forced into throwing the ball. I don't think they're going to be able to hand the ball off to Kamara and just be able to be completely successful. So in that fashion, I do like the Broncos to pick up some sacks here. And I think Jonathan Cooper, it's at minus 105. It's the best price you can get out of guys who are actually, they're normal pass rushers. And he leads the team with 4.5 sacks. So, the production versus the price didn't really make sense to me there. So very, very much like Jonathan Cooper. And then the other side of the ball, give me Carl Granderson over a quarter of a sack at plus 150. Bo Nix is also a guy that runs himself into some sacks. That offensive line, we talked about the right tackle being out and shuffling with McGlinchey having to get back in the game. I think the Saints defense is going to know they have to perform well if the Saints are going to have any shot. Like this needs, for the Saints to win this game, it has to be, a 14-10 game or a 17-13 game, something like that. I don't think they can expect their rookie quarterback to go out there and light it up without their starting wide receivers. So I do think both defenses are able to get home at the quarterback. So I like Cooper on the Denver side, and I like Granderson on the New Orleans side to pick up a sack there. So those are my best bets for tonight. I am on Javonte Williams, both anytime touchdown and his rushing receiving. I'm on Juwan Johnson over 35.5 at plus 140 receiving yards. That is, I'm on a little bit of a sprinkle of Foster Monroe, 25 plus and 40 plus there. And then Carl Granderson and Jonathan Cooper to pick up a sack. I think ultimately it's a pretty ugly game led by defenses. I'm expecting something in that kind of 17-13 range, 20-13 range, something like that. I don't know if it's huge offensive fantasy football night, but that's how I see this game going. All right, guys. Hey, every week I'm going live, breaking down the Thursday night football game. We talk expert injury analysis. We talk, game breakdown. And of course, I give it my actionable information. That's the best bets. All right, folks, make sure you check out my NFL Sunday best bets. We've hit on 4 straight episodes the bet I've given out with the longest odds, whether it's 4-1, usually it's at least 3-1. 4 straight long shots we've hit. We've been profitable the past 4 weeks. Obviously, hitting the long shots help. So definitely check that out. It should be released tomorrow. I'm going to hop out of this studio, and I'm about to go record that actually right now. So, hey, good luck if you're telling the bets there. I hope you have wonderful football. And, hey, just in case this game stinks, make sure you should get on some player props there to help yourself out, because this might be not the best for viewing pleasure. All right, folks, from the DJ Doc here at IDP Plus. Hope you have a good night. And other than that, make sure that you like, subscribe, do all the good things, and good luck. We'll see you next week.
Thank you for watching the IDP Plus YouTube network. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Be sure to tap the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload new content.